You can't really make a video about pump action shotguns without talking about the Ithaca 37. I lucked out on this one. These are so inexpensive. There's a new version of them that are actually not so inexpensive, but this is an original Model 37, so you probably know bottom ejection, bottom feed. You can see how short the receiver is. I've taken these apart a few times over the decades, and I mean, it's a John Browning design. The intelligence of the design is supreme. A lot of these slam fire. That means that you could hold the trigger back and just keep working the slide. A lot of them have this impressed checkering, some of the earlier ones. Of course, they don't. If I didn't say it already, it's steel and walnut. I don't want to sound ho-hum about it. They're just so superb that it's hard to believe that a better shotgun maybe came along in the form of the 870, but and that would strictly be because of the way it feeds and ejects from the side. But a lot of people would say no, the 37 is better, and they may well be right. Anyhow, we'll take a couple of shots. Release for the slide is in the front here of the trigger guard. Safety crossbolt in the back. One action slide, but I've never seen these jam. And my deer hunting shotgun is, well, I have two of them. One is a 37, I think they call it the Deer Slayer 12 gauge. And then I have a 20 gauge, which I actually like even better. I think I showed you that on Patreon. Just amazing accuracy. Anyhow, we'll fire this one and see how it does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that stuck. Just remarkable shotgun. And some of these you'll run into on the marshes. And, you know, when I was younger, I used to ask, how many rounds have you fired? And the people would say thousands, and maybe it was. And they just keep working. Anyhow, Ithaca 37. Another pump action that you just can't go wrong with, and you know this already, Browning pump shotgun. Some people call them BPS. Made in Japan, just flawless engineering. Mechanics are superb. They've made them for a long time now. People love them. I sometimes hunt in Saskatchewan, and I remember a couple of blinds, that's goose blinds, that's all the people had. This one's in 410, one of my favorite gauges. Quite a few people wrote me that, you know, it's obviously bottom feed, bottom eject. You can see that it's a copy of the Ithaca 37. And I mean, I understand that the function may kind of look the same, but I examined the receivers, and this receiver is a lot longer than the Remington 37, and it's longer than the Ithaca 37, and it's longer than the Remington 10 as well. Not that that matters. I just thought I would mention it. Everything else beautifully made, sort of tang safety on the back of the action. Action releases down here. For added fanciness, in case you didn't already notice, it's a beautiful shotgun. The trigger is gold chrome plated for that extra little bit of pizzazz. What else can I say? Just perfection operation. I don't know what these go for used. They're not inexpensive. They're not like the other ones I was showing you, but they're well worth buying. And in 410, you know, what a versatile firearm it really is. Anyway, we'll fire a couple of shots, and you know, you're familiar with these, but anyhow, release the action down here, and yeah, it's another shotgun that you kind of want to shoot all day long. You know, I like that Marlin 17 or 20 we looked at, and I also really like the Model 43. Just take a minute to look at it. That's where the model is marked on this one. So Marlin decided to put a model number on the 43. Hopefully we can focus in on that. Model 43 has the coolest pump action. It has one action slide bar, as you can see here. It's a takedown. Takedown is easy, but as you know, I'm probably lazy. I don't take most of my shotguns down. It has a very interesting floating bolt head, and the action, maybe as a consequence of the way the bolt is set up, the internal architecture of parts is extremely smooth. And I definitely noticed the operation is kind of glitch free. It's not quite as smooth, obviously, as the Winchester, the modern Winchester 1200. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Anyway, what a wonderful shotgun to own. This one, I guess it's got some kind of aftermarket pad. This was the case but back then, and even now, people most of the time put a pad on. Instead of a ventilated rib in the old days, they used to put a matted rib. You can see that matting, just to take away glare off the top of the barrel. And I think I've mentioned to you before, I've probably shot hundreds of shotguns over the years. I never noticed that much difference between my hit probability on clay pigeons with or without a ventilated rib. But again, I'm not a professional trap shooter or skeet shooter. There probably is a difference, and heat dispersion, I guess, is important with the ventilated rib. Anyhow, we'll shoot this one. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, but I like them all. Just a great shotgun. Safety's on the inside of the trigger guard, and it's off right now. Yeah, these 43s, this is definitely worth buying. Again, you don't have to worry about hunting with these. Totally solid and effortless operation, and for the price that they're offered in the market, just a fantastic shot. And this one's got some chips. I didn't bother fixing them because if they're stable, I don't bother going into it. But I could improve it cosmetically, but I can't see the point. I'll try to keep it original. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Winchester Model 25. I probably should have had a Model 12, but I don't have any in my vault right now. I had that Winchester heavy duck gun, 3-inch Magnum, but I sold that. So this was sitting there, and I thought I better show it to you. Again, just unbelievable quality pump action shotgun, all steel the way they should be. This is Model 25, which means it's not a takedown. All the rest of the features are probably familiar to you. Feeding, ejection. Some of these have tens of thousands of rounds through them. Still working fine. Crossbolt safety, action release in the back. Very simple, and one action slide bar, if I didn't say that already. Never a glitch with these 25s or the 12s. You can see this one I was completely lucky. I don't know who bought this, but they definitely hardly used it. Even the butt plate is pretty decent. And with Winchesters, they're just bankable assets. You virtually never lose money on a Winchester. The classic ones, everybody wants them. Like I said, I was real lucky to get this one. Anyhow, we'll run a couple of shots through. Yeah, there's just a feeling with that action. You'll see what I mean. Model 12 or Model 25, just excellent. All right, we'll move on to the next one. This JC Higgins Model 20. I'm pretty sure we made a video on these, but I'm not 100% sure. What can I say? One of the best shotguns like ever made. Not very well acknowledged. I'm not sure why. I think High Standard sold them under their brand. Everything's steel. Everything works. This one I was lucky. Spotless. Hardly used. Again, a lifetime of shooting in this one. This says actually 12 gauge Sears Roebuck, so it gives you an idea of the time frame. Crossbolt safety, slide release in the back. This is just a great shotgun. And again, so undervalued. People don't even realize how excellent they are. And you can read all about it on Google. A whole bunch of different sites discuss how excellent it is. We'll just fire a couple of rounds here. Can do that all day long. Just a great shotgun. Well, one more to do before something serious happens here. Here's a truly fantastic shotgun. This one's in just, I would call it, yeah, I would say it's mint condition. I don't think it's been used. It's virtually spotless, and of course, I fired it, but before that, the bolt face was perfect. No evidence of brass or primer. It's missing a part here, and you'll probably laugh at me. I laugh at myself. Uh, I, there's supposed to be a retainer here. I think this might be quite a bit similar to the JC Higgins Model 20. This is a beautifully made shotgun. I'll read to you what it says. It says the American Import Company, San Francisco, California. 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch chamber. And on this side, manufactured in the Philippines by Squires Bingham. And it's a Model 30. I mean, can you really get a better shotgun? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Beautifully made steel, flawless operation, typical 870 function. Anyone picking one of these up would have no trouble working it. What else can I tell you about it? The stock, you may notice, has two different colors. That's not that uncommon, but what's interesting here is if you pick up one of these, you'll notice, if you handle wood a lot, or even if you don't, you can kind of feel the strength of the wood. And this wood feels like steel. Now, I'm not sure what kind of wood this is. I don't think it's Babinga or ironwood or what have you. I could look it up, and maybe I did, but I forgot what it is. Anyway, these jungle woods, and I hope it's fair to call them jungle woods because they're tropical woods. Some of them are just so indestructible. This is one of them. Well, you can tell I really like this shotgun. Action release on the back, crossbolt safety, everything you'd expect. I like the grooves in the forend better than checkering. And we'll fire a couple of shots and see how it goes. So that's kind of neat. The way pump actions are made, at least the modern ones that are not slam fire, there's a mechanism that holds the slide shut. This one has nothing wrong with it, but I notice it. Typically what happens is when you fire, the recoil, in a sense, unlocks the slide. Unlike, let's say, an older Ithaca Model 37, where you can basically just hold the trigger back and it'll fire every time the action locks. So this one has that intercept, which made it shoot a little slower and arguably safer. Also, it may just be me today for whatever reason. Anyway, excellent shotgun, beautifully made. I especially like the steel receiver, which not all of them have. Well, we did an awful lot of shooting, and these pump action shotguns are definitely endearing. They make you want to go hunting. I've always liked waterfowl hunting. Of all the ones that I showed you, and we'll probably do another segment with maybe 10 or 20 more, there seems to be no limit to them. I like this Marlin. If any of you own the 1897 Winchester, you'll know what I mean. There's something about those classic shotguns. And I've never really had that third shot imperative. Like, it's okay to have the third shot. That's why mostly I hunt with over and unders. But For a few years, limits were so thin for waterfowl that I didn't want the hunt to be over, an hour after daybreak. So I didn't mind the over and unders, or the side by sides are beautiful too. But as far as classic pumps, the Marlin is great, but it's a pleasure to hunt with them all. The 870 is great. The Ithaca 37, the Winchester Model 12, Model 25, that Smith and Wesson that we shot with, or the Franchi or Frankie and Manu France, they're all good. The Browning BPS, how can you beat that? I could go on and on. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching, and maybe join us on Patreon. There are quite a few interesting videos there. That'd be helpful. If you can subscribe, that would be great. And apparently, if you don't push the bell when you subscribe, then you don't get notified when a new video of mine comes out. Anyhow, that's a whole lot to digest, but please help the channel when you can. I think we have a good thing going. Keep writing and sending suggestions. Wherever you are, take care. Good shooting and good hunting.